me, it might be different for other people. Apart from taking notes, like I said, I do the weekly goals and the quarterly goals and the yearly goals. They're just to keep me monitoring my progress. The daily goals are more just like a forger, forging a forging titan, and you're just chipping away every day. And that's what really matters. Things might pop up throughout the day, but at least you've got a setup for the day before.
Definitely. Like I've said in my previous podcast, it's taking that daily step towards what you want to achieve, towards your ultimate goal. That's important. Sure. Whether be it a big step or a small step, take a step.
Yes, definitely. And I think a lot of these people like Tim Ferriss and Tony Robbins are saying it's very important to have a daily routine.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are trying to copy Tim Ferriss and Tony Robbins' daily routine.
That is true, yeah.
And in my opinion, that's not the way to do it. Figure it out yourself. Do some testing and see what works for yourself, because like Gary Vaynerchuk is saying at the moment, I keep bringing him back up because he's a massive inspiration to me.
Yep.
But what he's saying is a lot of people are getting into meditating these days, and not religious meditating, meditation which works with your brain to stop you thinking about everything for 10 minutes of the day or something.
Yep.
And yes, it works for some people, but if you're happy with what you're doing on a day-to-day basis, you're getting stuff done.
Yeah.
Like, I know I'm getting stuff done. I'm not going to meditate and change what I'm doing. So there's, like we keep saying in this episode, there's a lot of content out there which people are consuming and trying to implement.
Yep.
But if you figure out what's best for yourself, don't try and implement everything out there.
I think what you listeners listening to this podcast right now have to take away from this whole thing is whatever you read or whatever you listen to, don't take away the specific action or the specific idea. Take away the principle behind it and apply that principle into your own life, into your own perspective, into your own world. So it could be, for example, meditation, as I spoke about in last week's episode of the Forging Titans podcast. Meditation could be, for some people, like my dad. Let's bring my dad into the picture. He loves to wash and wax his car. God knows why. I find it really, really tiring. But to him, it's his, an hour and a half of meditation. It's his meditation time.
Exactly.
So for Chris, it could be doing, 5-6 podcasts at one go. That's his meditation time. That's his place of zen. For me, it could be working out three times a day. God knows why, but that is my place of zen. So I think taking the principle of having a still mind and being in the moment of now and applying it in your life's context works much better.
Yeah, if it's working for you and you're happy with what you're doing, there's no point in changing it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, if you try and follow Anthony Robbins' morning routine, he wakes up and jumps in a cryotherapy machine. I mean, we don't all have a cryotherapy machine every morning to jump into. So take it with a pinch of salt and apply it in the way which suits your lifestyle the most.
Definitely.
What would be your 5 tips to someone who want to firstly start, let's say, for example, someone who wants to start a podcast. What are 5 things they should jump on and get right first before doing other stuff?
Sure. So there's a few things, and I like to say a lot of the time that it's not necessarily the equipment. If you can tell a story, then you can really impact people. You create a following, and then eventually you can upgrade your equipment. Mm-hmm. Although saying that, it is very important that people can hear you in a podcast. So you don't have to have a brilliant microphone, but at least make sure you've got something.
Well, if I may cut in, if you have a brilliant editor like Chris, I mean, you can have probably average equipment, but you still sound amazing, like I do at all my podcast.
Well, thank you.
Carry on.
Yeah, but I mean, saying that and you saying, look, have someone like myself work on your podcast.
Yep.
It's only as good as the content you're talking about.
Yep. I agree.
So To be honest, a couple of tips would be to listen to numerous podcasts before you start thinking about doing a podcast yourself. And I don't mean listen to Serial about a serial killer.
Yeah. No.
Unless you're going to actually create a podcast on a serial killer. Yeah. What you want to do is you want to find podcasts and listen to them from when they started recording are in the same niche market that you're going to create the podcast on, because you're going to learn from their mistakes. Mm-hmm. So from that, you need to be original, of course.
Yes.
Because if you're not original, you're just part of the noise. And one tip I do have always written down is work on your content before you record it. So if you've got a script, you edit it before you record it, and you just get it better and better and better.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I make it a point to get a podcast out to you guys every week, despite my tremendously busy traveling schedule. I don't always have my microphone on me. I've got Chris bugging my ass off for the week's podcast. But I think it's just, even if it takes you 5-10 minutes before the podcast just to script something out and have a sort of a guide during the show, I think it puts you in, 90% the right place when you are recording the show.
Sure. And it's not necessarily per episode that you need to do it. You just need to prepare yourself you need to get in the right mindset, and for a lot of people that's definitely working on the content before you record it.
Yep. I completely agree.
And to be honest, I'm not going to just ignore what I do. One of the tips I would give people is to actually use Podcastily to make podcasts easy. All they need to do is record it and upload it, and then the rest of it is done for them.
All they have to do is go to podcastily.com.
Correct.
Yes. Type up Forge 10, get a damn good price, and contact Chris, and he'll sort the rest out.
Exactly. Love it.
That's a little bit of sneaky subliminal marketing right there.
Well, it isn't if you tell them that it is.
Well, fair enough. It's like a surreptitious wink, A
podcast wink.
A podcast wink. There we go. So, of all these tips and ways to reach you through podcastily.com, what is the easiest way that, besides your website, that someone can get in touch with you and maybe chat with you about their podcast or how they should start in further detail?
Sure. So I guess the best way is to contact me through my social media channels. And I mean, all you need to do is search Mottram26 on any social media channel: Snapchat, Instagram, Skype. That's my Skype name.
Yep.
Facebook. Follow me, send me a message on it, and I'm going to reply. I mean, I'm happy to hop on a Skype call with someone for an hour if they really want to.
Yep. Like we always do.
Yes.
Yeah. That is, I mean, one thing really good about you, Chris, and the way you run Podcastily is you have really you engage with the people who contact you, and that's the most important. It's sort of like having, let's say, you have a huge email list, but out of that 100,000 email list, you only have 200 people who are actually engaging with you and with your content. So why not, focus on the 200 which actually provides your business and your company quality and weight. Mm-hmm. That's one thing which I know and I've experienced for myself that you do really well, is connecting with everyone out there. So guys who are listening, just get in touch with Chris. He'll gladly accommodate you. Chat with him about your podcast, and I'm sure he'll be happy to help anytime.
Yeah, sure. So like you said that, I'm happy to hop on with anyone. And one of my main things that I focus on every day is to provide value to people. And it's not about taking from people straight away. It's about value, and then you give them something that they ask for. I mean, it's definitely something that people need to focus on more, and that's definitely what I do. I make sure I'm providing value before I ask for anything for myself.
And that's what I think every entrepreneur should focus on, because the money is only the secondary point in every business. When you're passionate, when you bring passion and value to the customer and through your work to people see and recognize that, and they'll be willing to exchange your value for monetary value. So that's how the business grows, and that's how you grow as a person. And what you say, never stop providing value to people.
Yes.
Keeping this short-ish. What is one book you could recommend to all the listeners out there that they should go and read right now? Pick up right now and read.
Right now. So
right now.
We've talked about him throughout the podcast, Gary Vaynerchuk. Go pick up his book. I've got it right here with me. Dom can see it over Skype.
I can see it over Skype, yes.
The hashtag Ask Gary V.
Yep.
And it's absolutely brilliant. So what he does is people ask him questions and he answers them just like what we're doing here.
Yep. Which is, I think, what Chris and myself would like to do in the future as business partners, is to answer your questions out there about life, about fitness, for Chris about audio, about life as well, about being entrepreneurs, about being two crazy young guys taking on the world through podcasts and through social media. I think the future is looking bright for everyone listening and the two of us. Leave my listeners with an original quote of yours. Go on.
Sure. I'll make it up on the spot. How about that?
Yeah, go on.
I think you need to stop doing things the hard way. I mean, if you don't know how to do something, get someone else to do it for you.
I couldn't agree more.
So if it's like a podcast, you don't know how to do a podcast, don't really strenuate yourself and try and do it yourself. I fucked up that word.
Yeah.
Get someone else to do it. All you need to do is record it and you upload it to Podcastily. It's as simple as that, and that applies to your life. If you don't know how to do it, do the things you're good at and outsource everything else.
Yep, and if I may add some more to that quote, is don't do things the hard way. Firstly, people are willing to help if you just ask, and don't overthink something before doing. Don't overthink. Just do it. Mm-hmm. This is my first Skype interview. It's not really an interview. It's more of a conversation with a good mate. And before that, Chris and myself were discussing, what should we ask, or what should we talk about, or what questions should we bring up. And I think this whole thing showed that life is just like doing a podcast conversation. You have sort of a guide, but you don't really know where it's going to take you and what you're going to talk about.
Yeah, and you say don't overthink it, and that is so true. Yep. You just don't give yourself the time to overthink things.
Yes.
Just get it done.
Just do it, yes. Just do it.
Was that a little Nike sponsorship there? Just do it.
Nike, if you're listening, give me that sponsorship.
Yeah, we'll give Nike that one for free.
All right, yeah, that's for free. All right, guys, so there you have it. That's a little first chit-chat. You'll be hearing a lot more from Chris from Podcastily and myself from the Forging Titans podcast in the next few episodes and weeks to come. If you like this episode, subscribe to the podcast. Go to my website, www.forgingtitans.com, and sign up to the newsletter. If you need help with your podcast or any audio requirements, go to podcastly.com, and I'll see you in episode 9. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening. For more, subscribe to the Forging Titans podcast.